Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm recording from the front camera this time, so I'm gonna be going back and forth between like the front camera and my back camera. But I told y'all on one of my videos, I don't know if I said it yet, but I'm definitely gonna start getting into my story times. Each video I make, I want to get a little bit deeper down a rabbit hole, here and there. But I know God took me through certain things to be able to talk about them. And God takes us through, sorry, I just got a message. God takes us through things as testimonies. And hold on one second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. I got a message. God takes us through certain things, right? So if you ever wonder why you go through certain things, right? Dang, why did I fall off this bike and break my leg? Why did I lose my house and became homeless for 3 months, right? Why did I get fired from my job? Because of one thing I said, So things happen. So things happen to us for reasons, for us to be able to talk about them, because when something happens, there's always a story behind it, but you bounce back, right? Excuse me. And you bounce back in ways you maybe not have thought you would have bounced back in that way. So there are people that bounce back from things and they don't praise God, they don't pray to God, they don't ask God for help. They just bounce back on their own and they decide to just do things themselves. So there are people in the world that succeed in things without God, but know that they're already given to a reprobated mindset. So God chastises his children, right? And God is going to give his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. So trust me, he's never going to give you more than what you can bear. So just always remember that. So it's going to be many times where I repeat some of the same things throughout multiple of my videos, just to kind of remind y'all and just to know that, like, look, this is something that I wanted to stick. But I'm going to go on and hop right in. I don't want to, y'all know how I get. I will talk y'all ears off. But I'm ready to start getting into my stories and my story times and, my testimonies. And I've grown enough, and I'm definitely a changed person, but I used to be a Jezebel spirit. So hearing about Jezebel now, certain things I hear about, and it's like, dang, you hear about certain things, you see certain things, and you can relate to it because you've been there. So when I see these young girls out here, I'm 29. And I've been told I look 18. I just got told tonight I look 14. He was really doing too much. And 21, I look young for my age. I'll be 30 this year, y'all. But, I look around, and we can all see it when we look around. These young girls are looking very old for their age. And it happens generation after generation. And I always say, I realize my mother was born in the 70s. So, yes, my mother was born in the 70s. And, my mother, she looks young for her age, but she still looks grown. And then you have the 90s babies, myself. We look young. The 90s babies, everybody, well, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but most of the people that I went to school with, some of them still look young, and then some of them just look like they had a hard knock life, but we look young. And then you get to the 2000 millenniums, and then they look like the 90s baby age. So as you can see how the generation changes and it fluctuates, and how You know, it changes with appearance. You know, there's different things being put in the food. You know, it's a different agenda that's put out there. It's been the same agenda, but it's getting more and more in your face. Like, they have to let us know. They have to put it in our face, right? But I'm getting off subject. This is a conversation for another time. But yeah, I used to be a Jezebel spirit. I used to be out there. Not in a way that's like super degrading, but in a way to where like I didn't know myself and I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. And you know, I just lost sight of myself. I've always believed in God. I always believed in God, but I never tried to have that relationship with Him. So I had daddy issues. And I say this because daddy issues are a real thing. And I remember having this conversation with my mom one time, and her saying that, well, my dad wasn't there like that, and I didn't turn out like that. You know what I'm saying? Somewhat in that nature. And it's like, that may be true, but I do believe that generations make a difference, right? Back then, in those days, it wasn't as bad as it is now. Men, there were more chivalry. You know, men were more respectful to women. The music was different. The society was different. You know, technology wasn't as vital and wasn't as in our face, you know, as it was back in the 70s, back in the 80s, the early 90s. We didn't use technology like that. You know what I'm saying? My first phone was a little Nokia phone, put minutes on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with the time change and the generations, you know, things are going to be different. You know what I'm saying? So not having your dad back then in those days was a little more different because the world and the society wasn't as bad. It wasn't projecting as much negativity and as much and putting out, oh, you got to look like this. You got to, you know, things were more, I would say things were more pure back then. You know, when you go way back, things were more pure. It still was mess under the sun, nothing new under the sun, but things were still more pure. You know what I'm saying? The secret agenda, the hidden agenda has always been there, but it wasn't as out there in your face. So not having your father in your life in the 2000s, it hit different, you know, because it's so many gateways to sin, you know. So my dad was in and out of prison, you know. It's my daughter. My dad was in and out of prison. I watched him get locked up in my face. Like, I watched the narcs kick down the door, you know, arrest my dad in front of me, everything. I got taken away from my brother. You know, I moved back with my mom. I stayed with my dad for a little bit over the summer. You know, and yeah, it was traumatizing, but it was just like, you know, I seen these things. Like, I grew up as a little girl being around my dad. I seen the drugs, I seen the lifestyle, you know, so I was subject to some things that I shouldn't have been subject to, you know what I'm saying? And looking back, it's like, that's the life of a lot of our black men, you know what I'm saying? Because once the system gets you, they get you, and it just messes everything up, because the system is designed for us to fail. Like I said in my video before this one, that I'm really mean that. That's a really take heed of that. Really take that in, and really, the system is designed for us to fail. Like, it really is. So seeing that was really just like, you know, but once again, I'm getting off subject. I told you I have so much stuff to talk about, but I was saying that to say this. I had daddy issues. You know, my dad was barely there. He was there when I was younger, but you know, those days didn't really count because I was still so innocent in my innocence, and you know, it just, things weren't as bad. The older I got, the more I lost myself. The more I didn't know who I was. I didn't have my dad to talk to, and I used to talk to my mom about stuff, and you know, sometimes, you know, I didn't feel comfortable talking to my mom about certain stuff, you know, because, you know, and this for anybody, you know, sometimes when you talk to your parents about certain stuff, you feel like you're going to get judged, you know, because for a long time I was put on this pedestal to where I was like the perfect child, and your family will look at you and feel like you can do no wrong, and you're the good one, you're the so it put a lot of pressure on me. And then there was my little sister, to where I had to apologize to my little sister about some things, because I used to blame her for things, get her in trouble. And me and my sister actually had a conversation to where I really broke down and cried, and we talked about things, a lot of things, and I apologized to her, and I said sorry about things that I did in the past as a big sister, because I didn't know any better. I had 2 big sisters, but I didn't have 2 big sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, my oldest sister, she handed me a Black and Mild when I was about 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't a good influence on my life. And so really being exposed to that side, it really affected me in a way that I really dealt with it as best as I could, but I looked for love in the wrong places. I gave my body to the wrong guys. I gave my body unapologetically. And when you give your body away, spirit, you're absorbing that spirit. You're taking in those spirits, and it's a real thing. Spiritual warfare is real. When you give your body to someone, you absorb their spirit, right? So if you're connecting with somebody in the sexual way, whatever spirits they have on them is going to jump on you. You know what I'm saying? And guys, like, really, my daughter saved me. I used to dance. I was in the strip clubs. I was in the clubs. I was drunk. I was smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in that nightlife. I was in that party life. You know what I'm saying? I was hanging around with the wrong crowd, cursing and all types of stuff. It's just like, looking back, I'm like, wow, like, God pulled me up out of that so fast. And he pulled me up out of that by blessing me with my daughter. And my daughter, I'm a single parent. I do feel like you reap what you sow. And me being out there like that and not really caring, and kind of just, just being unresponsible and just being careless, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to reap everything that you sow. And God is going to let you reap everything that you sow, because he wants you to learn a lesson. I've been to jail 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have stories, and I remember just being in a jail cell one day, and I remember just being in that cell, those 4 walls, in a small space, metal bed, I remember just praying. I remember just crying out for Jesus. And I remember when I had a conversation with my mom on the phone when they let us get a call, and I remember just hearing my daughter's voice and just feeling just so shameful, and just wanting to be free, you know what I'm saying? And it was impacting. I told myself I was gonna never put myself in a predicament. But you gotta mess up, you gotta fall, you gotta mess up to learn. That's why I say I feel sorry for people who's never been through nothing. I feel sorry for those ones who was just born with a golden spoon, never been through no trials and tribulations in their life. I needed that. You need trials and tribulations to be stronger, to grow, to really know what it is to be grateful and thankful, to really feel God's grace and mercy, and to really know what it's like on the other side, the side where you don't belong. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? Having your soul lost out there in the world, partying, drinking, doing drugs, fornicating. I've been there. I've did all that. And God has grown me up into this beautiful woman. And I'm still battling with things. I am. But I've came so far from where I used to be. And I bask in that. And sometimes I still get a little sidetracked. The devil still sends distractions your way. You could be doing so good and you still can get distracted. And you still can get threw off of your game just like that, and you won't even know it. The devil knows I've been single for a while, and he knows that sometimes I crave love and affection, and I pray for my husband. Sometimes I pray out loud, and the devil will send someone exactly how you prayed, and they will come as a sheep in wolves. They will come as a wolf in sheep's clothing, and they will beguile you. That's why you have to have discernment. Because when you pray, especially when you pray out loud, not only does God hear you, but the devil hears you as well. And the God will let you be tested. He will let you be tested. And we have to go through those tests. We have to be ready. We have to be prepared. And I look back and I'm just so thankful for everything that I've been through. And I look back and I'm just like, wow, I really been through all this. Like, y'all, I've been there. I've been in the club twerking, half naked, butt out, having money thrown on you, like taking those half naked pictures. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've had an OnlyFans before, you know what I'm saying? Like I've worked in the strip club before. Yeah. So, yeah, guys. I made this video to say this. A saint was once a sinner. And you've been through a lot of stuff. I'm looking over here, but the camera over here. I'm sorry, this is my front camera, so I'm trying to. But you've been through a lot. You've done a lot. But you're not that person no more. You're not your past. I made a video about this before too. But like I said, most of the time I'm going to repeat a lot of things. It's going to be a lot of repetition in my videos because I want it to stick. I want it to stick. I want the word to stick. Yeah, but I've came a long way. I've came a long way. And the devil will still try to tempt you. You got to call that devil out. You got to tell that devil, flee. You got to let him be known. Be like, this ain't nothing but the devil. I see you. You can't win. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. You gotta shoot him down. He won't mess with you when you just, he can't get you when you call that devil out. You make him flee. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be a soldier. You know what I'm saying? You can't fall victim to that temptation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, remember where you came from. And where you came from is not where you're going. Remember where you came from, and that should motivate you. That should fuel you. That should be your fuel to just do better, to just be better, to really just thank God, to just thank the Lord that He brought you through all that. I never really even talked about this before. It's crazy, but I want to lay it all bare because I'm not my past. I'm not my past. And so, it feels good to get it out. It feels good to get it out because I feel like it gives others hope to like, dang, she was like this and now she like that. She admitted that. She wasn't scared to admit that. I feel confident enough and I forgive myself from my past to admit my flaws, to admit the mistakes that I made, So there's many more testimonies where that came from, and we gonna get into it, so y'all can really see that my journey, it was really a real journey. Like I'm really on a journey. I've really been there. I've really been through things, and I'm here, and I'm here, and God still loves me. God is still helping me. God is still getting me on that right path. God has not given up on me. After everything I did, God has not given up on me. And he won't give up on you. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Be prepared for these story times, y'all. This is a judge-free zone. So trust me, like, I don't judge. I don't expect you to judge. No one wants to be judged. I accept everyone for who they are, and I just want us to be better. Thank you. Like, subscribe, comment, share this video. I'll see y'all in the next video.